Good morning. Today's version of Stay Curious with Tess. Today I wanted to kind of move into a new section. In the past 12 sessions, or the 12 episodes that I've talked about, we were kind of learning about how kind of the language of money. I was talking about the language of money, or what terms mean. I talked about like how one word can change the meaning of something. I talked about investments, guarantees, risk, just like basic definitions. So it was investments, guarantees, risk, liquidity, cash flow, assets, liabilities, net worth, financial independence, opportunity cost, wealth. So for the past 12 sessions, those are the things I talked about, which are kind of the language of money. And now I kind of want to go into a section that's learning about how money behaves. So staying curious with Tess, we're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about accounting. We're going to talk about what I've been experiencing in the insurance industry, because for those that don't know, I'm a 35-year statutory accountant in the insurance industry who is now a life agent trying to help families take back financial control using the infinite banking process. So I'm going to start right out of the gate with, why does time matter so much when it comes to money? And there's a popular quote that is attributed to Albert Einstein, but we're not 100% sure if he actually coined this phrase, but I'm sure you've all heard it before. And it's that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, but he who doesn't pays it. So I'm sure we're all wanting to be on the side of earning it. We don't want to pay it. I think it's important because time allows growth to build upon previous growth. So that's the idea of compounding. If you have time, it allows your growth to build upon previous growth. And that is the idea of compounding. So now that I've kind of talked about the previous 12 sessions, we're talking about the language of money. I want to talk about how it behaves. And compounding is like one of my favorite things, and I'm sure it'll be one of your favorite things. Why do I talk about these sessions? These sessions are just about educating, because I think if we understand and we think about these things, we'll make better financial decisions. Compound growth is when growth can begin generating additional growth. There's nothing better than looking in your bank account and it's growing, growing, growing. And it's really cool when you think that if you put in $10,000 today, and then you have 10,000, your 10,000 is earned $1,000, you've got 11,000 that could be earning interest in future days. So I think compound growth is when growth can begin generating additional growth over time. And that's like a passive thing. You put it in there, you let it work for you, and you don't have to worry about it. And it's helping to build your net worth, or your foundation. So let's kind of make this simple. Imagine that you're planting a tree, and at first you see a little small seedling. Over time, that tree grows. You know, there's some root growth going on underneath, some branches on the top. And then those branches start to create more branches. So the growth that already happened helps create future growth. So those first 3 branches may turn into 9 branches, that may turn into 27 branches, that may turn into 270 branches. I have a catalpa tree outside that started so small, and we knew it was going to grow fast, and it's huge now. It's all of a sudden you look and you're like, how did that happen so fast? And that's compounding, but it takes time. I think it's grown fast, but if I went back, it's probably been 10 years, but it started as a little seedling. If I hadn't nurtured, or if they hadn't nurtured that little seedling, there would be no tree there now. So now let's connect this to money. Suppose you save and it earns interest. If that interest remains a part of the account balance, future interest may be calculated on the original amount plus the previously credited interest. So that's part of what this education thing is, that you have to know where your money is and how is it earning interest, so that you make sure it is compounding, which is what does happen inside of the policies that we write with the infinite banking concept. Our cash value compounds once we start funding the policy. So if that interest remains part of the account balance, future interest may be calculated on the original amount plus the previously credited interest. This is one example of compounding. Some investments may also experience compounding when when earnings remain invested, although the results depend upon the performance and the specific investment. So that's what you want to make sure, is to check any contracts or any investments that it is compounding, because everything is based on the contract, and contracts can be different. But knowing that means that you can understand how your money's going to work because you know what to look for. Certain financial products may also have growth features based on their contract terms. So we kind of mentioned that. The important lesson here is the tool matters. So understanding what your tool is, understanding the language of that tool, will allow you to know that if you have a tool that's going to provide compound growth. But remember, the important lesson is that the tool matters and the principles matter. And what are the three things that are really kind of important in this scenario? Time, consistency, and patience. Compounding is a beautiful tool, but it doesn't happen. A tree doesn't grow from an inch to probably 30 feet in a day or a week or even a month. It took a number of years for that to happen. So remember, time, consistency, and patience. Those three things can have a powerful impact. And now there's one other thing I kind of want to talk about that in a previous session, I talked about opportunity cost. And opportunity cost kind of connects to this idea of compounding also. So just yesterday, I talked about opportunity costs. And every financial decision means choosing one thing over another. The decision to start early gives your money more time to work, more time to grow, more time to compound. Waiting may mean losing valuable time. That doesn't mean that every person should make the same decision. Everyone has different goals, circumstances, and priorities. The question is, am I making decisions today that support the future that I want? So let's make it practical. Someone might say, I don't have enough money to start. But a better question is, and I really love this, can I start with what I have and build consistency? Because sometimes the habit matters more than the amount. So I want to say that again. Can I start with what I have and build consistency? Because sometimes the habit matters more than the amount. And I found that often. It's like right now I've been involved in a challenge for a number of months, and I feel really good now that even with the challenge not continuing on, I'm getting about 12,000 steps in the morning, 10 to 12,000 every morning. And the thing I'm very confident of is that it's such a strong habit, I can continue with it. So going from April 1st to now, I compounded a habit, and it's something that I can continue to do almost without thought because it's a pattern, it feels good, and it can move forward. So remember, small actions repeated over time can create meaningful results. So I wanted to kind of give you a thought to ponder. Time is one of the few financial resources that we cannot replace. How we use it can influence our future opportunities. So remember, small, consistent decisions today can create possibilities for tomorrow. So compounding is a beautiful tool, but maybe you have to start today with where you're at, build consistently, because sometimes all that matters is that you got started. So I want you to remember that when it comes to any part of our life, you want to define and understand before you make decisions. Because better financial decisions and any decision in life is improved if you've got that understanding before you make the final decision. And then remember, until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and take ownership of your financial education. And thank you for being here, and I look forward to sharing more tomorrow.